Good morning and welcome back to Forest Velo and welcome back to my garage, aka my pain cave. And like thousands of people all over the world, when the weather gets a bit grim outside, I often find myself on Zwift or Trainer Road focusing on trying to get some decent miles in. And that's really good exercise. It's really good, you can do so much good training, but sometimes it's all racing or interval training, and sometimes we can forget the basics of getting strong muscles, strong tendons, building up our neuromuscular side of cycling, our sort of mind-body connection. And it's very easy to get roped into all the other things and forget that. So today we're going to be looking at some exercises you can do to make sure your muscles are really finely tuned, ready for the next season ahead. So let's get into it. So all these should be done after a good warm-up. I've just been cruising around Watopia here in Zwift, and once you've had a good warm-up, one of the things you can do are sprints. So basically you want to get in a big gear and find a suitable stretch of road, probably one that's going uphill a bit slightly would be best. Put it in a big gear and sprint. I tend to sprint in the saddle only because of the rocking and everything else. Sprint hard for 10 to 20 seconds, have a really good rest, probably 5 minutes, and then do another one. See if you can do 3 or 4 of those and maybe gradually build up that sprint explosiveness over time, building in some more efforts as you go. So in a big gear and go. One down, 4 or 5 to go. So what you want to make sure is you're not doing all these things in one workout, because it will kill you. So maybe once a week, maybe once or twice a week, maybe at the end of a ride, end of a turbo session, you could build in some of these to keep that, as I said, neuromuscular link, that explosiveness really tuned up. So number 2 are standing starts. So with standing starts, again in a big gear, maybe on a slight slope, come to almost a stop and then stand up and build up that speed, probably for about 20 seconds until the cadence has come right back up to what you normally do, maybe 80, 90, something like that. So here we go. Again, you want to be trying to do 4 or 5 of those to start off with, maybe with 6 minutes, something like that, in between efforts. And number 3 are sort of big gear efforts, or some people call them tractor pulls. Basically, again, you get in a big gear. As always, it's useful to have a bit of a slope. I'm going up a very slight slope here in Watopia. Go down to 50-ish RPM and then gradually just build up that speed so you can feel the torque you're putting out as you're cranking over that bigger gear. This is a sort of a slower effort, but gradually forcing those legs round to build up that cadence up to 80 or 90, then just hold it there for a bit, maybe up to a minute, and then ease off. And again, a good few minutes rest between. And these sort of efforts really can strain your muscles, so don't overdo it or you'll find your legs are aching for a good day or two afterwards. So next one is one of my favourites, which is spin-ups, and that is the opposite of what we've been doing. It's basically getting into an easier gear and spinning up to as fast a cadence as you can without bouncing, holding it steady, but really spinning those legs. And that again is good for that neuromuscular power, getting all the muscle fibers in your legs working together and really firing at the same time, which is what gives you that increase in power. Because often we find our muscles are inefficient and not really working that well together, then doing exercises like this really help get those muscles firing well, tuning the engine. So like I said, light gear, and then probably for 10-20 seconds, whatever it takes to get to that highest cadence, and see if you can hold it there for a few seconds before dropping back down. So let's give that a go. Another good one to practice is just high cadence. You never know when it might benefit you to be able to spin at a high, sort of fairly easy cadence for some time. So again, not too heavy a gear, but try to get your cadence at least 10 RPM above normal, and then hold it there. So maybe for me 100, 110, and then hold it there for a couple of minutes. And those sort of drills also develop your smoothness of pedaling, because you can't do that if you're not pedaling smoothly. You'll find yourself jumping about a bit in the saddle and things like that. So if you can do it smoothly seated, you know your cadence is quite smooth and well-rounded. And lastly, another good workout to do, or form to do, are longer steady states, but ones that really build up that muscular endurance. So you're looking at 5, 8, 12, 15, 20 minute intervals, holding a power probably near your threshold or sweet spot, about 90% below threshold, and holding that for longer and longer periods. Because when you're climbing or working hard, it is that muscular endurance, your body's ability to just keep going at that high, hard sort of power, that will build up that super strength for climbing and things like that, and help get your body used to clearing lactate. So that's basically, like I said, choose a workout or just free ride and try to time yourself over those extending periods, gradually building up how long you can do that for. Because climbing power particularly is very much muscular endurance, and whether your muscles can cope with that muscle strain for those extended durations. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing. That'll really help the channel grow. And if you manage to do some of those workouts, you'll probably find you're a bit faster off the mark in explosive situations, or you can find yourself pedaling at a nice smooth higher cadence, which is always good. If you do manage to do those and find a benefit, don't forget to drop them in the comments below. And until next time, bye for now.